Hello, everybody. This is Sheila. Hello to all my divers. Welcome back to the Neuro Dive Corner. And today, first off, I want to thank all of the new subscribers and all of the people that have been supporting the videos and engaging, hitting the like, hitting the bell. Um, it's all good. We love it. We are all about building community. Yeah, this is a very laid back, down to earth channel. It's a very small, humble channel, but I am thankful for each and every one of you. And oops, I gotta get used to dealing with technology if I'm gonna keep doing these lives and stuff because I am not very tech savvy. I used to be. Funny. When I went to university, my second degree. It's in international public relations, and I took like two courses that were radio production and two courses that were TV production, and I had news photography as well. So you would think if there's somebody that will know how to deal with videos and editing, it would be me. But I was never, especially editing, I hated it. Hated editing audio and video, especially audio. Oh my dear God. So yeah. So anyway, today we're going to talk a little bit about something different, but that is related to the neurodivergent community. And that is substance use disorders. Now, it is not uncommon in patients that are neurodivergent to see addictive personalities. And there is a genetic component to that, to addictive personalities or having that proclivity to have a substance use disorder. But I want to talk a little bit about it, not so much from the standpoint of neurodivergence, where a lot of patients use substances to self medicate and regulate certain symptoms that they're experiencing and certain behaviors that they would like to manage. So that's one of the reasons you see substance use disorders in the neurodivergent community. Let me just take a quick shout out to the chat. Thank you so much, George Mitchell. Hello, hello. Carlos Salazar. Hello, hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining the live. Thank you for supporting the channel. Make sure you do all the good stuff. Hit the like, hit the bell, and share it with your friends. So getting back to our topic, so substance use disorder. The reason I want to talk a little bit about it is because it drives me insane, especially right now, where we're seeing a megalomaniac, demented President Cankles just unaliving fishermen because he can, and sorry about that, and because he wants to. So while President McCankles is doing that, using the propaganda of the opioid crisis, people are obviously not questioning how misguided and how dangerous that is. That we can start unaliving people, fuck due process, fuck the law, fuck the Constitution. So that's scary. And there's a principle in economy. It's a very basic principle, and trust me, I am not an economist. Yes, my degree will say different because my bachelor's degree is in business administration. But that was a cop out because I needed to graduate. I needed to go to school. What I really wanted to be was a trauma physician, but life be lifing, and that didn't happen. Anyway, I digress. So going back to the opioid crisis and the economic principle. So one of the most basic economic principles is there has to be demand in order to have offer, and vice versa. Shout out to Made New. Hello, thank you for joining. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you. Keep engaging, keep hitting the likes, all of that. Keep sharing. That only helps the algorithm. So anyhow, I digress. Again, this is what happens when you're neurodivergent and you have attention deficit disorder, among other things. But yeah, so going back to the offer versus demand, I don't have a problem with the DEA and the Coast Guard dealing with narcos. Obviously, nobody wants drug dealers, period. Full stop. Simple as that. That being said, doesn't mean that we are gonna go nilly willy and start unaliving people just because they're from Colombia or Venezuela or whatever the case. But the part that people don't talk about is okay, we are dealing with the supply, you know, supply and demand, basic economic principle. So by unaliving supposed narcos, we are only addressing the supply. How are we addressing the demand? That is the question. And this country has done a great disservice to its people. If you study the history of opioids, you will find out that it started, one of the biggest culprits was Purdue Pharma when they started messing around with poppies, the flowers, and morphine, and trying to figure out ways to synthesize morphine and make it stronger. Obviously, they knew about opium, they knew about morphine at that point. So they came out with a funny little pill that took the world by storm, Oxy. And that's where most of this stuff started. Now, the United States historically has had a high demand for drugs, so it is hilarious to me that people want to blame the suppliers only because nobody is coming through the border and just blowing drugs on your face and making you an addict or shooting you with stuff forcefully and turning people into addicts. It's not a zombie movie. It's not Law and Order either. You know, like it's not a TV, you know, show. So the opioid crisis was actually manufactured many, many, many years ago, right here in the United States by our pharmaceutical companies. That once they saw how much people liked the oxy, they decided to keep ramping up. And in the beginning, they were giving them out like Skittles. But what happens? People become addicted. People do not like to deal with people with substance use disorders. So doctors were declining to see patients, discharging patients. And where do you think patients were going? They were going to the closest drug dealer to get a fix. So it is very, very disturbing that people, when they talk about the opioid crisis, They're so fixated in the supply side of things, and nobody takes the time to address the underlying causes of substance use disorders. And one of the things is our healthcare system, our broken healthcare system, that is a sick model that functions in keeping people healthy enough so they can keep working, paying taxes, and paying premiums, but sick enough that we can keep charging you ridiculous copays and giving you ridiculously expensive and dangerous medications. And when you inevitably get addicted, we're just going to kick you to the curb and you're going to go out in the street and look for the fentanyl and other things. So, that is one thing that I feel is a huge disservice in the United States. The media is failing, the healthcare system is failing, the pharmaceutical companies are failing, the government is failing big time. There's a lot of reasons why people have substance use disorder. It's not only just recreational. It could be from an accident. It could be that they're self-medicating due to a mental health illness. It could be that they're going to trauma. It could be that they're going through a financial crisis and they're just trying to check out. I don't care what is causing the disorder. If we don't address the underlying causes and we don't take accountability for creating more and more drugs that are stronger and stronger and getting people addicted, then we can't complain. And we don't have the moral high ground or clarity. If we really cared about the opioid crisis, we would start not only trying to resolve the supply side of things, we would start actually working with people, removing the stigma out of social services and people accessing social services. We would advocate for healthcare to be free as it is a human right. We would advocate for affordable housing and programs that provide pathways for people that are unhoused to be able to afford housing, to be able to get treatment for substance use disorder, for mental health, for dual diagnosis, whatever the case might be. But we need to take accountability and we need to, admit that the United States has a huge substance use problem created by itself. Mexico didn't create it, China didn't create it, Venezuela didn't create it. Nobody started sending ninjas into this country to turn people into addicts. People make those choices for whatever the reasons. And until we start addressing those underlying causes and removing the bias and the stigma from asking for help, from accessing social services, we are never going to see an improvement in the opioid crisis or any other social issues. And that's the reality. Until we start realizing that we have more in common with the person that is currently at the shelter or at the food pantry than we do with Jeff Bezos or your favorite billionaire flavor of the day, we're not going to get better. So anyhow, thank you so much. Thank you for Halo XD. Thank you for joining. Katie. Um Listen, if you didn't like the video, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining, subscribing. If it's not your cup of tea, that's perfectly fine. At least the watch helps the algorithm and I appreciate it. I am not here trying to debate anybody or any of that. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you. It's a filter. I am actually a regular plain Jane, so yeah, no. But thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. Anyway, guys, stay tuned for other videos. Let me know if you want to collaborate, if you have a topic you would like to discuss. Oh, and also check out the description. Help your girl. Your girl is participating from the in the Fab Over 40 contest. So all of the information is in the video description if you guys would like to support. It helps with cancer research. Okie dokie. So, um, oh, hi, how, Bucky, hello. We were talking actually about substance use disorders and the opioid crisis. So if you watch the live once it posts, you can comment. All of you, please send your comments, send your information, and let me know. Let me know what other things you want to hear about neurodivergent and the amazing people that take care of neurodivergent people. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, keep helping each other, keep lifting each other up. That's the only way we get through. Okay? Bye. Be talking to you soon.